Let's get more on that turn down in retail numbers, retail sales numbers in May. We've got more from Citi economist Veronica Clark. Veronica, thank you very much indeed. So it seems there was a slide in retail sales in May. I guess these numbers have been distorted, though, over the past few months by people front-loading or trying to get ahead of tariffs.
Yeah, exactly. The data we got this morning was the full month of April. So we'll see ultimately where May ends up in about a month. That's just the preliminary estimate from Stats Canada. But yeah, I think a lot of this is going to be autos. We saw strength in auto sales in March, a lot of that in this April data this morning. And I think it's probably going to be that auto sales fall in May. This is just front loading ahead of possible, price increases from tariffs. We've seen actually very similar dynamics in the US retail sales data also.
Give us a bit of perspective. What, over the past year or so, what have you been seeing in Canadian retail sales?
Yeah, I mean, we had seen, some of a pickup in demand really end of last year. Of course, there was the sales tax holiday over the winter, so it's kind of hard to read through those distortions also. But maybe there were signs that demand was picking up. In general, the last couple of years, we have had such strong immigration that's going to help to support aggregate spending also. And so that, now slowing was going to be a headwind for this year, but maybe there were signs that demand was strengthening. Of course, rates had come down. Maybe that would help, boost investment, boost spending. But this year, the outlook as a whole, it does seem like maybe there would be, downside risk to spending just from higher unemployment, uncertainty, and all of those factors.
I mean, I'm trying to think what is weighing on consumers' minds right now. Is it the uncertainty from the tariffs?
Yeah, I think that can be a big part of it. Maybe not so much the tariffs themselves, but the concerns of are you going to have a job? We have seen slowing hiring. Of course, the last couple of months of job growth have been much softer. The unemployment rate has risen. We're at a new cycle high of 7%. So all of those concerns around future financial situation would potentially weigh on spending. I wonder if you're seeing that also in consumers holding back on big purchases like buying a home. We've had some softer home sales for a lot of this year. It's just maybe not the environment where you make these big purchases.
How important are retail sales to the economy? We often hear, well, America has this almighty consumer, but we, of course, have a far more open economy. So are they important when it comes to GDP changes, retail sales?
They are, consumption is still the biggest, one of the biggest single, baskets of GDP growth. So consumption trends are important. Services, of course, are going to be still a bit bigger than goods spending. Retail sales is only really reflecting goods consumption. But certainly trade is a much more important part of the Canadian economy than for the U.S. Exports to the U.S. are something like 20% of GDP growth. And that's really, I think, what's going to be defining the next couple quarters of GDP is just those shifts in trade.
It is interesting, isn't it? Have you seen anything like this in your career, Veronica? This front loading and moving and accelerating of orders to try to dodge import tariffs?
No, we really haven't. Maybe the most comparable would be the pandemic. Of course, there was some front loading, stockpiling of goods and right ahead of the pandemic. So that's somewhat similar. But tariffs, of course, are a bit different. And I don't think anyone has really seen anything like this in their careers. We have not had effective tariff rates, from the U.S. that are this high really in about 100 years. So.
That's amazing, isn't it? What an economic experiment U.S. President Donald Trump and his team are doing by jacking up the tariffs like this.
Exactly. It's going to be pretty hard for us economists to try to forecast this correctly. It's going to be pretty difficult this year. We're trying to use maybe the 2018, 2019 tariffs as a similar baseline, but of course those were much smaller, and we don't have good experience forecasting something like this.
And our job market, I know unemployment has been going up, but our labour market is not all that weak in Canada. I mean, we haven't seen a massive layoffs.
No, it's a pretty similar story actually in the U.S. also, both Canada and the U.S. The weakening that we have had the last couple of years, it does seem to be driven by very low hiring. Of course, that was maybe a bit more of an important story even in Canada, where even the U.S. had this, but it was very pronounced in Canada. Such strong immigration, labor supply increasing, and that low hiring was not able to keep up with increase in labor supply. It is still an important signal though that the rise in the unemployment rate is telling you there are people who are looking for work, don't have a job, but want one. Labor demand is not keeping up with labor supply. But yes, we're not quite at that moment where we're seeing the big layoffs yet. But you have to ask, why is hiring so low? Is anything, changing to improve hiring, labor demand? And it doesn't seem to be. So the concern is that next step is those big layoffs.